Shalom to all my brothers and sisters worldwide. What is Karaism? Let us begin with the word Karaim. Kara in Hebrew was the ancient Hebrew form of what we today call Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible. It was called Kara. So, in a sense, it means children of the scripture, or scripturalists in lay terms. What is Karaism? Karaite Judaism is the original form of the Israelite faith, or of Judaism, commanded by Elohim to the Israelites in the Torah. Karaites accept the Tanakh alone, or the Kara alone, as the word of Elohim and the sole religious authority. Now, this does not mean that any Tom, Dick, or Harry can just pick up a Tanakh and say that he's a Karaite and only believe in the Tanakh. This is not the case. You must be serious. You must believe that only one Elohim exists, and that's our God, the God of Israel, God of all creation, and Him alone. Right off the bat, I'm going to say, we do not follow the New Testament, believe in it. We don't believe there's anything holy in it. We don't believe in Jesus or Yeshua in the way that Christians claim in any sense whatsoever. Now, a lot of people who are leaving Christianity will jump to Karaite Judaism or try to learn from Karaite Judaism because they don't want to follow, God forbid, anything Pharisaical or the Orthodox Jewish way. So they feel that this is a cop-out to jump from one end. This is not for you. Sorry. If you are serious about learning about the true God alone, the true Creator who is one and there is no other, you must let go of all Christian ties whatsoever. Period. And I'm willing to help you and teach you about that, which I have many videos on the subject. But let's make that very clear. Karaite Judaism is in no way friendly with anything from the Christian Bible or the Christian doctrines, period. It is Yehovah alone and Tanakh alone, the Hebrew Scriptures alone. The Karaites deny any human additions like the Talmud or the rabbinical oral law, because Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 2 states, "You shall not add or subtract from the words of this Torah. Neither shall you diminish." Karaite Judaism also rejects the rabbinical principle that the rabbis are the sole authorities for interpreting the scriptures, or the Tanakh. Karaites believe that every Jew has the obligation to study intensely the Torah and decide for him or herself the correct interpretation of God's commandments, since in the end it is the individual, not the central authority, who is responsible for his or her own actions. This, once again, does not mean that anybody can pick up a Tanakh and read it and think that they are Karaites. We must help each other, and we must respect the Karaite way. So don't believe that I'm telling you that we could just interpret anything we want and invent things. Like there's a lot of theories going on, like the lunar Sabbath and all this other stuff. We can't invent what is not in the scripture. It has to be solely based on Tanakh. We cannot invent our own version of Karaism. It must stay to the regulations laid out in Tanakh, in the Torah as well. So let's just make that very clear. I just want to make that very clear so that nobody gets the wrong ideas from this video. It must be serious. You must respect the Karaite faith. You must respect the traditions that are based on Tanakh. So search the scriptures, study, 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 study. If it's in Tanakh and it's clear, then you'll know that it's right. In the end, it is the individual, like I said, not the central authority. who is responsible for your destiny and your actions. So, be responsible. Karaites do not reject all interpretations and do not take the Bible or Tanakh literally all the time. Since everything requires interpretation, instead, Karaites hold listen carefully, every interpretation up to the same objective scrutiny, regardless of its source. So, if you study very deeply and become Karaite and do study intensely, and you have something that you think is there, it must be subject to the scrutiny. You can't just invent things and say, oh, well, I believe this is speaking about a lunar calendar. If it's not there in the text, you cannot invent that it's speaking about a lunar Sabbath. So, this is just a basic introduction of the beliefs of Karaite. There's a lot more, and I'm going to be placing a lot more videos on my channel with more details of history and what our beliefs are. But one last thing I'm going to say. The Karaite motto does not say to reject the opinion of the learned, those in charge. You know, I'm teaching lots of things on this channel. I welcome your questions, maybe statements, whatever it is, please go ahead and ask questions. But the Karaite motto also simply warns against relying solely on an opinion without verifying its merits in light of Tanakh, regardless of who is the leader. So, if I teach you something or someone else teaches you something, and you think that there might be a problem with that, you do not, according to Karaite Judaism, which is different from Orthodoxy, where you have to obey the rabbis or pick one of the rabbis even if you disagree with all of them. In Karaitism, it's different. If you really feel strongly that something that someone is teaching is wrong, you have a right to look in Tanakh and find the clear explanation and present your case. So, everything is held to scrutiny, regardless of the source. Yes, we do have traditions, but the big difference is between Karaitism and Orthodoxy is that Karaites do not claim that our interpretations or our traditions came from God Himself. We are simply doing the best we can with what is written. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll be making many more. Shalom.